What's up everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we have yet another G80 video, and that is because IND has actually sent me out a box full of goodies, which is really exciting. There are a few different things in here, but what we are going to be installing from them today specifically are the CSL style yellow DRL modules. I am really excited to see what these look like on the car and on the Blue. So today we're going to be doing a little how-to install video with these. This is obviously my first time installing these. It looks pretty easy from the instructions that I read. I'm not gonna lie, of course I had to read instructions. So we're gonna be doing that today, and I'm gonna show you guys how it's done. Alright, I guess let's get to work. Alright, so everything that you guys are going to be needing today, I am using an electric ratchet with the 10 mil to get the fender liner in there off, a flathead screwdriver, another little flathead screwdriver because I didn't know what would be best, and then a T20 Torx bit. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna start by doing the first module, which is gonna be under the fender liner right here. So we're gonna get that off with the 10 mil, and I actually haven't even opened up the part yet. So I guess we'll do that now. So this is what it looks like when you open the box. Here are the modules. There is going to be a right and a left, I believe. I would assume, yeah. So you can see L and R on both of those, so you don't want to get those mixed up. And then it looks like we have the installation instructions on there as well, which honestly I'm gonna do right now. So like I said, in these fancy instructions, it tells you to jack up the car and take off the wheels, which I would do. I just really don't feel like doing that. I'm going to get a jack from the shop and bring it all the way back here. So we are just going to do it with the wheel on. So I'm going to take off these 10 mils and then take off the fender liner, and then that way we can access the back of the headlights. We're not taking the whole fender liner out, we're just going to move it to the side. You can see the heat sink up there, which is what we want to get to, so I'm going to show you guys up close view. Alright, so now with the fender liner out of the way, you guys can see the heat sink right here. This is a T20 Torx bit, so we're going to get these off. There should be one on this side, one on the other side, and then we're going to pull this off and then go from there. Alright, so got the first bolt out on the right side. The left side you guys aren't going to be able to see from here, so I'm just going to do it from this angle. Alright, that was a challenge because I couldn't get to the other Torx on like up top. There was literally no space to put the ratchet to get it in there. Finally, after a while, got the Torx out and we were able to get out the heatsink. So with this, there is a plug right there. And that is in here, and what you do is just press the connector and it'll release it and pull it off. So here's the heatsink, and I'm going to show you guys how to change out this module. Alright guys, as you can see, getting that module off was a I had to get my dad involved, and now it's off. So moving on to the next step. So now that we got the old module off of the heatsink, we are going to take the new ones and replace it. Now that we have the new module, there is the 3M on the back. You're going to peel that off. And then you're going to take the heatsink and you're going to place that where it needs to be, and these 3 little pins right here. Alright, and now you're going to take the heatsink and plug it back in. Take this. Alright, so now with the heatsink back in place, we're going to put it back in. Alright, now I'm going to take the T20 again, and we're going to put the screws back into place. Alright, that's not going anywhere. Now, put it back together. Now, next order of business is the heatsink that's on top. Thank goodness, and that's gonna be for the smaller smaller module that you guys have. So yet again, just a T20 to get this one off. And then, yet again, there's another one of these clips. And what you're gonna do for this is just push down and pull out. Alright guys, we're going through the same process with the one on top, and we're heating it up to get the glue to release on the module, and then we're going to lift this up and change it out. Oh! Dad! So now, what we're gonna do, you guys, is replace the old one with the new one yet again. Here's the tape. Same tape on the back. Peel it off. Put it in place. Alright, now that that's done, we're gonna go install it back in the core. This little funyun. Finally, down to our last step, which is installing it back in the car. So we're going to repeat the process where you plug it back in, and then it'll click, and then and put it back into place. And then tightening, putting them back in. Alright. So now that this side is installed, I'm going to turn the car on before I put everything back together and see if it works. Wish me luck, you guys. Alright guys, so I just finished up the left side and got all that done, put everything back together, so I guess now it's time for the big reveal. Let's see what this looks like. So that about wraps it up for today's video. As you guys can see, here is the big reveal. I think the yellow DRLs look so sick against the blue. I am changing the color of the car, and I can tell you, I can guarantee that the new color is definitely even gonna look better with the yellow. But overall, this was a pretty simple install. For you guys doing this, I would highly recommend to just jack the car up and take the wheels off. I was being dumb and I didn't do that and I made it 10 times harder on myself. I just really don't feel like doing that. I'm going to get a jack from the shop and bring it all the way back here. So I would definitely recommend that. But overall, it's a pretty simple install. If you just follow along and watch the video, you should be a-okay. And I guess that is a wrap for today's video. So thank you guys again for watching as always, and have the best day.